What do you guys think? NBA front office rankings. Where do you have the Philadelphia 76ers front office out of 1 to 30 in the NBA? Stephen Williams says last. New team falls behind the Bulls at number 30. So we got a little bit of a CBS clickbait headline here. They're not telling us who the new team is, so we got to check it out. We got to see who the new team is. They had the Bulls at number 30 on the last one that they did. And that's probably because the Chicago Bulls traded Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Alex Caruso and did not get a single first-round pick out of any of those players. Let's see who lands at number 30 so far this offseason. OKC on top, Lakers and Mavericks low on the list. New team falls behind the Bulls at number 30. Leroy says 26th. D-Fry says 25th. Let's see the list, man. Before we begin, something to keep in mind. Blah, 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 blah. All right, number 1, Oklahoma City Thunder. Fair. Tanked. I mean, shamelessly tanked, but built the right way. Hit on some big-time draft picks, Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren. Made some key trades. Isaiah Hartenstein that was a free agent signing. Alex Caruso was a big-time trade. Got rid of players at the right time. Targeted players that fit, players that help specific. Like, they just did it the right way. Number 1. Number 2, Boston Celtics. All right. We got to give that to the Boston Celtics, even though Jason Tatum tore his Achilles. And I would have split up Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown a long time ago. And I think they overpaid Jaylen Brown. He's not even close to a $300 million player. Nah, I'm probably not putting Boston up there, to be honest with you. But the Derek White trade did a lot more for the Boston Celtics than people want to admit. I've been calling Derek White the best player on the Boston Celtics for a couple of years now, and the Drew Holiday trade and all that. So Boston Celtics number 2. San Antonio Spurs number 3. Front office? Why? Because they tanked and drafted Victor Wembanyama? And then tanked and drafted Dylan Harper? I mean, I don't know. You would have to have a little bit of success with that core to be able to say that they're number 3 front office, right? And we didn't even see them play together yet. Anyway, number 4, Houston Rockets. Got to give it to them. Build a strong defensive team. Youth, athleticism, wings. Wings! Daryl Morey, wings! Where are the wings? And then they flipped a couple of things to bring in a solidified, historic NBA scorer to take them to the next level in the playoffs, because they were the number 2 seed in the West. But once the playoffs started, Jalen Green folded like a lawn chair, pulled off his best Tobias Harris impression or Michael Porter Jr. impression or whatever you want to call it. I'm cool with the Rockets at 4. Cavs at 5. They did build a strong team. They did build a strong team, man. They did build a strong... New York Knicks at 6. Front office? I'm not putting the Knicks that high, bro. I'm not putting the Knicks that high. I still don't even think the Karl-Anthony Towns trade made them better. And now I think they're in a situation where you're trying to play Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns on the floor together, and neither of them can guard my 9-year-old son downstairs. I'm not putting the Knicks that high, but let's see where the Sixers are, man. Indiana Pacers built a strong team through the draft. Got to give it to them. Utah Jazz. I mean, it's Danny Ainge, but Utah Jazz? We're not ranking teams, we're ranking front offices. But it's still like ranking teams, right? Because you're looking at what the front office has done lately. All right, I guess, Danny Ainge turned Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert into $1 million first-round picks, but he's sat on Lauri Markkanen for way too long. The dude's almost past his prime at this point. He's refused to trade him for so long. He's kind of pulling a Daryl Morey with the Lauri Markkanen. But it is Danny Ainge, and I have faith that he's probably going to flip the Utah Jazz into a contender at some point because Danny Ainge is, I personally feel like... Top 10! Top 10! Top 10! The Philadelphia 76ers, with two of the worst contracts maybe ever signed in the history of the NBA, on the same team right now. Couldn't get the dudes on the floor last year, won 24 games. Absolutely untradeable contracts with zero cap space. Their offseason signing was Hunter Salas, bro. Their offseason signing was Trendon Watford. I like him, but give me a fucking break. Number 9, the 9th best front office in the league, is the Philadelphia 76ers. CBS Sports, with all due respect, you are smoking something that you need to put down. Put it in the ashtray immediately. Sam Quinn. Put it out, bro. Get off the weed. How in the world would you have the 76ers at 9th? Let's hear his reasoning. We don't think of Daryl Morey as a great drafter because of how veteran-heavy his Houston rosters typically were, but just look at the picks he's made in Philadelphia. Maxey, McCain, Isaiah Joe, Paul Reed, Adem Bona, Justin Edwards, VJ Edgecombe. He's been good at drafting. Is that like some... I mean, you listed it like it was Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden back-to-back-to-back, or Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. Am I missing something here? That success in the draft is largely what's keeping Philadelphia afloat. Afloat! Oh my. Building this way can cause other problems on the roster. Philadelphia's fixation on creating cap space in 2024 is part of what led to the breakdown in its relationship with James Harden in 2020. Number 9 is absolutely out of control. It's absolutely out of pocket, as the kids say, to list the 76ers as the 9th best front office in the NBA. Let's see who fell to last behind the Chicago Bulls. The New Orleans Pelicans. Yeah. Or the Bulls are 29th. Wow. Sacramento Kings. Dude, the Sacramento Kings should be 30th. This team traded De'Aaron Fox. They traded Tyrese Halliburton. They traded Domantas Sabonis. No, they traded for Domantas Sabonis. They traded Tyrese Halliburton, De'Aaron Fox, and ended up with the Chicago Bulls leftovers, Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. And they're going absolutely nowhere anytime soon. I would have the Kings at 30, to be honest. Oh! Or would I have the Suns at 30? The Suns got to be 30. The Suns go to the NBA Finals. 2 years later, they trade Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and every draft pick they own until 2090 for Kevin Durant. And then they trade 100 second-round picks for the worst contract in basketball at the time, Bradley Beal. And they stink up the joint and have to trade Kevin Durant for Jalen Green. So essentially they traded Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and 5 first-round picks for Jalen Green. The Phoenix Suns might have to be 30, bro. Dallas Mavericks. How does a team that just landed Cooper Flagg, how are they 26th? Yeah, they traded Luka Doncic, but they just landed Cooper Flagg, bro. Raptors, Bucks 24th, Blazers. Yeah, I don't know. But that was fun. That was a fun read, man. I absolutely cannot believe. I did not expect the 76ers to be anywhere close to top 10. Top 10. Morey basically saved his job by getting lucky in the draft lottery. That's it. Yeah. And still didn't draft the player with the highest upside. Let's do a rapid fire Q&A real quick before I get out of here, man. Throw some questions, hot takes, comments, anything you want in the chat for the next like 10 or so minutes. And I will read them and react to them. Sixers ahead of the Nuggets. What are we talking about? They were ranked they were ranked 10th in February. They went up one spot. The 76ers somehow went up a spot after having 3 max contracts on their roster and tanking. We might be the 9th because the NBA has always had a majority of awfully ran teams, like 80% are clueless, hence Boston and LA have half the championships. Not wrong. Not wrong about that. I think I have a chat filter on that I want to turn off maybe. So you guys can drop your takes and questions a little faster. There we go. What do you think about Carter Bryant Summer League? Carter Bryant. Is that a 76ers player? Carter Bryant Summer League. What we learned about Dylan Harper and Carter Bryant? Spurs. Oh, hell, bro. I didn't even take the time to watch 76ers Summer League games after VJ Edgecombe was down in Game 2. Because I was watching Jalen Hood-Schifino basically headbutt the ball into the 4th row. You think I watched the Spurs Summer League? I did not. I'm sorry, man. But thank you for the question. I'm not roasting you at all, but I did not. I did not watch the Spurs Summer League. Besides Ace, who do you think we are going to regret not drafting? Nobody. I had VJ Edgecombe at number 4. I think I had VJ Edgecombe at number 4 no matter what. Janai Broom, the best big man in the draft. You learned that from the Summer League. Look, I think he has some intangibles. I think he has some skill sets the 76ers can use. I think he's probably the best rebounder on this entire roster right now, which is sad. But it's because he's great at positioning and he's a very smart player. But Janai Broom's lack of athleticism, Janai Broom's inability to move laterally or jump is going to render him kind of unplayable in the NBA. Alongside Joel Embiid, if Joel Embiid was at his peak and was still a dominant rim protector, I could see Janai Broom playing the 4, especially because he's been a pretty good three-point shooter in the Summer League, and if he keeps that up in the NBA, I think he'd play a pretty good 4. You're going to need a big defensive center next to Janai Broom, and I mean maybe a Janai Broom, a Dembona lineup off the bench isn't terrible. You know, a Dembona's that big rim protector, and I think at least what I saw in the Summer League, Janai Broom can stretch the floor a little bit. But I just think Janai Broom under Nick Nurse is going to get the Gershon Yabusele treatment, which is he's going to get put in terrible defensive situations all game long, all season long. He's going to get put on an island, on a pick and roll island. Guards are going to blow by him. And even though he has great positioning, He's going to have a tough time, I think, rebounding against NBA bigs because he can't jump higher than Georges Niang.